students, welcome to your SST class, and as you all know, we have already finished with the explanation part of chapter number 3 civics, that is types of government. So today we are just starting with the reading part, and I will tell you the important questions that can be framed from each paragraph, so you need to just mark and underline them. So just open your books on page number 218 and we'll start with the first paragraph. Okay, so we'll be starting with the meaning of government. What is government? You all know now what is government. So let's see. A government is a group of people that manages the country. So it is nothing but a group of people who we have elected through elections and then they run the country. It is a body of people that frames policies and exercises control through various organizations and laws. Please underline till here. So till here you have the definition or meaning of government. So it is a body of people, it involves people, a handful of people. Those people frame laws and make rules for the smooth functioning or running of our country. So it is a key to the growth and development of a nation, and for every nation, government is very necessary. There should be somebody who has authority or power to rule the country. Otherwise, there will be all chaos. We need law and order to live peacefully. So that is why government is very essential. The government takes important decisions and perform different functions. So we all know the various functions of government, if you remember. So we will be revising all these functions again. A government is a leader, the chosen one that makes policies for the welfare of the whole society. So a government is a chosen one. It is not just like we have in USA or in Great Britain, but we have the right to vote, and we have chosen our government through elections by the process of voting. So they do not just take into consideration their private interest, but then they frame rules taking into consideration the welfare of the society as a whole. The government also makes certain rules to manage the country. It looks, so now these are the functions. It looks after our health, please underline, education. It provides educational facilities to all, be it universities, be it colleges, be it schools. And then basic needs like water, electricity, and it also maintains law and order in the country through various police departments that we have. The government plays a very important role in our lives. The functions of the governments are as follows. So just keep on reading these functions. It is very important question. Number 1, it undertakes social welfare programs to remove poverty, unemployment, discrimination and illiteracy. Poverty, we all know those who are poor, so it makes amendments or laws for that. Unemployment, those who don't have job, so it tries to provide employment. Then discrimination, it makes laws and takes into consideration that no one is discriminated on the basis of caste, color, creed, religion or region. So it takes into consideration the right to equality and frames rules accordingly. And then illiteracy. What is illiteracy? Educational facilities. It tries to provide basic education to the children. If you have heard that children below 14 years, they have full right of education, and it makes policies and laws to provide free education to the students below 14 years, those who are not able to go to schools. So that is removing of illiteracy, means providing them educational facilities. It maintains law and order with the help of the police. It maintains peaceful relations with neighboring countries. So it tries to reconcile if there is a matter of dispute or terrorism, as we are facing the situation of war between India and China. So it tries to pacify the relations with the neighboring countries. It protects the international borders with the help of armed forces. Any other foreign attack from outside country, our neighboring country, so it tries to control it. It organizes relief work and gives help by giving food, shelter and health services even during natural calamity. Natural calamity like floods we have, like earthquakes, like drought. Drought क्या होता है? सूखा, जब बारिश न हो. So in these situations, the government tries to provide its relief features. It helps those people in the areas where the people have been a victim of these natural calamities. So it provides them with food, it provides them with shelter, it provides them with even money, financial help. Okay. And it also takes care of the health of those people if they are injured during an earthquake or in the flood if they are injured. So it also gives them medical facilities. It builds and maintains roads, sewerage disposable system, hospitals, schools, museums even, public toilets, parks and other public amenities. Just imagine if these facilities have not been provided to us citizens, to our villagers, how the life would have been. So it also functions on these grounds. It arranges for electricity, cooking gas, drinking water as well as water for irrigation. So it also supplies these facilities, especially for the farmers, the irrigation facilities, subsidies on seeds, fertilizers, and then subsidies on cooking gas, even you might have heard. So all these facilities are again looked into by a government. It provides services such as postal services, post office, transport, means of transport, airways, road transport, private public buses are there, so trains are there, then as well as means of communication, the internet facilities, BSNL, what is it? Government communication facility. It builds and runs hospitals, schools and other offices and agencies free of cost or by charging a nominal amount. Nominal amount means a normal amount is being charged in these government offices. Okay, so this was something about the functions of government. After this, we have also studied about the levels of government. How many levels? 3 levels of government. So let's look into that. So all these functions you need to learn. I can ask you to write any 5 functions. For 5 marks it can be asked in your exam. So you need to learn 5 to 7 functions in all. Okay, levels of government. India is a big country, we all know that. In order to function effectively all over the country, the government operates at 3 different levels and it is not easy to manage the affairs of such a big country with a population of 130 crores approximately. So, what it does? It functions under 3 levels: national level, state level and local level. At the national level, please underline this. The central government manages the affairs of the country. Who manages? The central government. The state government looks after the welfare of the particular state. So we all know, please underline, villages, towns and cities are looked after by the local self-governments to solve various issues at the lower level or at the grassroots level. So in the districts, in the towns, cities, villages, we have local self-government. Now compare and contrast. Read the statements given on the next page, identify their level and tick the correct options. The decision to provide assistance to Bangladesh. So these are some of the examples they have given you. This is your homework for today. You will do this. Just tick whose function actually it is, of local government, of state government or of central government. And tomorrow I will ask you, we'll discuss. So this is your homework. So functions of the government. Under this they have discussed the organs of the government also. So let's move on to the organs of the government. Okay, one of the most important functions of the government is to make laws and the people have to abide by those rules and regulations. We can't just do whatever we want. So we have to follow certain rules and regulations that have been made by the government. The functions of the government are carried out by its 3 organs now. How are these functions carried out? Be it electricity supply, water, drainage system, sewerage system, or be it the constructions of hospitals, schools, dispensaries, or maintaining the external affairs. So all these are just conducted in a peaceful manner under 3 organs. So let's study about them. Number 1, please underline the legislature, which is the law-making organ, the executive, which implements these laws, and the judiciary, which sees to it that these laws are carried out along with resolving disputes. So these are the 3 organs. Number 1, law-making body, which makes the laws. Second, executive, which sees that the laws are being implemented. ये नहीं है कि सरकार ने कानून बना दिया और बात खत्म. सो द वेरियस ऑर्गन्स सी कि जो सरकार ने कानून बनाया है तो क्या उसको हम कैरी कर रहे हैं, क्या वो उसके अकॉर्डिंग काम हो रहा है. अगर सपोजिंग अवर गवर्नमेंट हैज गिवन द ऑर्डर, द legislature has passed a law that there should be construction of roads in this particular area, so that government of that state will look and will see that the roads are actually being constructed in the area. So the execution of the laws is also very, very important. Then lastly we have the judiciary, which sees that all the laws are being carried out in a peaceful manner without any dispute. So in our country, laws for the whole country are made by the parliament. Since we have parliamentary form of government, so who makes rules for us? It is just the parliament, which is a legislative body. Please underline parliament, which is a legislative body that passes, amends and repeals law. So it is the only place where the laws are being made. बनते हैं वहाँ पे, फिर उसमें अमेंडमेंट्स भी की जाती हैं. अमेंडमेंट्स मीन्स चेंजेस भी हो सकते हैं. आज हो सकता है एक लॉ बन गया, बट वो अगर दूसरी गवर्नमेंट को पसंद नहीं आया, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को, सो देयर कैन बी चेंजेस इन दैट अंटिल इट इज पास्ड इन बोथ द हाउसेस, द लोकसभा एंड द राज्यसभा. अ बिल बिकम्स अ लॉ ओनली व्हेन इट इज पास्ड विद both the houses. So this will be starting in higher classes. So you just remember that parliament is a legislative body, and at the central level, it is at the central level. Okay. Till here you need to underline. Then something about the state legislative bodies make laws for particular states. Then we have the state legislative assemblies or the bodies that make laws for their particular state. So they know better about their state, what type of amenities or facilities are required by their people. So they will frame laws for their particular state. Although the report has to be submitted to the central government. Okay. For example, now see just one example they have given you. You must have heard elders in the family discussing that it is now mandatory, means compulsory, to have a pollution certificate for the vehicles in Delhi. Those caught without a valid pollution under control certificate will have to pay a fine of ₹1,000. The executive or administrative branch implements the laws. The judiciary resolves disputes and ensures that the laws are followed. So this is just a repetition. So now the example says that it is a decision of that particular state that if the pollution is increasing in your state, like we take the example of New Delhi. So the state government will decide whether you want a fine of ₹1,000 or whether you don't want a fine on people, those who don't have the pollution certificate. So this way, it is a decision of that particular government. And if you remember in New Delhi, when the pollution was on the rise, there was a policy or a law framed by the central government that the vehicles will be running in the state of Delhi on the alternate basis, odd and even vehicles number, if you remember. So this was again the law that was made specially for the state of Delhi by their government, looking into the problem of pollution arising in that particular state. So this was something about the three organs, that is legislative, executive and the judiciary. Now we have also discussed the types of government, if you remember. Basically we have discussed the three types of government. So let's recall those, let's study about them. Monarchy, first of all, please underline, it is the oldest and in the past was the most common form of government. So if a question arises which is the oldest form of government, so what will be your answer? The oldest form of government is monarchy, because when there was British rule in country, so we had this monarchical form of government. A monarch, now who is monarch? You will ask me. So please underline, a monarch is a king or the queen who is all powerful. So he is the most powerful person who has all the power. So he is called a monarch. The king or the queen that holds the crown is a monarch. This form of government is hereditary. Hereditary, I have already told you what is it, please underline. Which means that the son or daughter inherits the throne of the king or queen after his or her retirement or death. So when the king or the queen who is holding a position, if he or she dies, then ultimately the power passes into the hands of his daughter or son. So this is what hierarchy of. The monarchs have ministers who advise them on all issues. Then they have some influential people with them, those who give them their suggestions, their advice, what laws he should or she should make. But then it is not compulsory for the king that he have to follow that advice. It is up to him whether he want to go by it or just leave that, drop that idea. Okay. But the advice of the ministers may or may not be followed. So it is not binding on the king. This shows that the will of the king or the queen is all the powerful. So please underline, it is very, very important. In the monarchical form of government, the will means uski ichha. The will of the king and the queen is very, very important. So next we have the dictatorial form of government, that is dictatorship. Let's see that. As you can see the picture of Hitler in your book. So let's see. All decision making powers lie in the hands of one individual or small group of powerful people, and this form of government is called dictatorship. So what is there? The powers are in the hands of only one influential person who is very, very powerful, and he can also have some influential people or a small group of people along with him to assist him, to help him. History shows that many countries had dictators or the rule of one individual and his small group of supporters, means assistants. The most common example of a dictator is Adolf Hitler. Please underline. So the most common example is Adolf Hitler of Germany, if you have heard the name. So in Germany we had a dictatorship form of government. Okay. Something about the other two forms. How the power is divided between the central and the state government. So it is unitary and federal form of government. So let's underline. Unitary form of government is the one where there is only one government for the whole of the country. So the power is not divided between the center and the state, but there is only one government who controls the whole country. Please underline the examples. Great Britain and China is one such example. Whereas as compared to the unitary form of government, we in India have a federal form of government. So if I ask you what type of government is there in India, so you will say federal form of government, in which the powers are divided between the state government and the central government. Okay. And they do not interfere in each other's matter, they just frame rules according to their area that has been given to them. In federal form, please underline, the power is distributed between the center and the state government, for example, India and USA. So this is a small question. You can even be asked a difference between a unitary form of government and federal form of government, and I have also given you one clip in my video if you remember. So 3 to 4 differences has been discussed over there also. Okay. Coming to the most important form of government that we practice and in most of the countries, that is democratic form of government. Democracy is the most popular form of government today. It is the most popular as a supreme power lies with the common people, we people, who cast votes to elect their representatives of their choice through elections. So till here you need to underline. This is the meaning of democracy. What is democracy? Is a government where the ultimate power is in the hands of the common people, and we people only elect our representatives who make laws for us, and we elect them through the process of elections. We cast our votes during election and then we elect our representatives. So this is something about democracy. We will be doing the definition on the next page, but before that you have 2 multiple choice questions. So let's do that. Which of these is the oldest form of government? Is it democracy? Is it dictatorship or monarchy? So it is the oldest. It is option number B, that is monarchy. Okay. Which form of government is the most popular today now? It is democracy, monarchy or dictatorship, and the most popular that we follow today is democratic form of government. So you have option number A as democracy. So let's finish this part of democracy. So that's all for today. I will be dealing with this 3 forms, types of government only. So after that, the democracy is further divided into various categories that we will take up in the next video. Okay, the person who gets a maximum number of votes is the winner. So after we cast a vote, what is there? Counting of the votes, and the person who gets a maximum vote, he becomes a winner and he forms a government. Like this, many leaders are chosen through elections. Then they become the decision makers who runs the country. Abraham Lincoln defined democracy. Please underline, very important. The democracy is a government of the people, by the people and for the people. I have already discussed. हमारे लिए है, हमारे द्वारा है और हमने ही इसको बनाया है. In other words, it is our government. हमारी ही सरकार है. As it comprises people of our choice, we have elected them. The government has come to power because we voted for the leaders, and now they will work for the common people. So they will work for none other but for us all. Okay, for the people. The democratic government makes the common man all powerful because if the representatives don't work, then they choose someone else in the next election. You all know that. So a democratic government makes the common man. The power is ultimately indirectly in our hands only, because after every 5 years, fresh elections are held, and if we are not satisfied with the functions, with the duty of that particular person, then we can even remove our government in the next election. So the power lies in our own hands. So the government, the party that is ruling, it also has a fear that it can be removed from the power, from the authority in the next elections. So they just try to work for the welfare of our people. So this is something about democratic government. Then you have types of government, that is democracy is of 2 types, direct and indirect. And indirect, which is further divided into parliamentary and presidential. And one small topic with that, universal franchise. So we will take up in the next video. And for today, your homework is to read till here whatever we have done. And if you have doubts, you can ask me through my WhatsApp message, and I hope you will read and just be punctual in completing your notebooks. Whatever PDF files I have sent you of question answers, that we have already covered the chapters, so please do it in your notebook. That's all for today. Stay safe, stay home.